Okay, guys, welcome back to part 2 of the 2022 Mathematics Diagnostic Test for grade 3. Okay, so we have done the first 30 questions. We are now at question 31. So let's get to it. All right, so what is 276 divided by 3? Another division question. All right, so when we're dividing, we try to divide the first number by 3. That's less than 3, so we have to use two numbers. So we're going to be doing 27 divided by 3. 27 divided by 3, that's 9. Okay, and then 6 divided by 3, that's 2. So the answer is A, 92. And guys, I have division videos. This is not necessarily a teaching video. It's just explaining how you go about answering the question. So, of course, if you do not understand division, then you can let me know in the comments if I need to do a simpler video for grade 3 students. I do have videos on this channel with some of the topics. Okay, so the answer is 92. That's question 31. All right, let's get to question. And as we stated in the other video, these questions are, there are two columns, so we have to be switching from side to side. All right, so question 32 says, which of the following is not the same as which of the following is not the same as 6 times 18? All right, so we have 6 times 9 plus 6 times 9. So first of all, if you're not sure, right, because if you know what you're doing, then you would have known exactly what the answer is. But if you are not sure, then you might need to do this step by step, which is try to find out what is 6 times 18, and then try to do these questions and see which of them give you the same answer, okay? So we'll do it that way. All right, so 6 times 18. All right, let me see where I can do it because I want to make sure I have enough space to do all of this. All right, so 6 times 18. I'm going to do it up here. 6 times 18, 6 is 48. 4 goes over in the next column. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus 4, that's 108. So 6 times 18 is 108, okay? So when we look at option A, you always do multiplication and division before addition and subtraction. So you would have needed to do this first and this, and then you add them together, okay? So 6 times 9, 6 nines, that's 54 plus 54. What is 54 plus 54? That's 108 if you were to do the addition. All right, again, guys, you have to do what's the multiplication first before you do the addition. So 6 times 9 is 54 plus 6 times 2, that's 12, okay? Is that the same as 6 times 18? All right, so again, we do this part first and then this part, then we do the addition. So 6 times 10 is 60 plus 6 eighths, 48. All right, so if you were to add 54 plus 54, the answer is 108. All right, I don't have enough space to do the addition, but it's 108. 54 plus 12, that's 66. And 60 plus 48, that's also 108. So which of the following is not the same as 6 times 18? The answer is B. In the interest of time, guys, I'm not necessarily going to do all the workings, but if you go ahead and add those numbers, then you will see which one is not the same as 6 times 18, which we got 108. All right, question 33. Which number is the best estimate of 6,000? Which number is the best estimate of 657 times 3? All right, so these numbers are super close, so I would not leave it a chance with an estimate. we simply need to go ahead and do our multiplication because it's very close. The numbers are very close. You could make mistakes. So just to be sure, to be safe, let's go ahead and multiply, then we can see what's the estimate. 3 times 7, that's 21. The 1 goes here, 2 goes over here. 3 times 5, that's 15 plus 2, 17. 7 goes here, 1 over here. 3 times 6 is 18 plus 1, 19. So 1,971. Of course, that answer is not here because what they want is an estimate. So pretty much what they're asking you to do is to round this number off. Okay, they didn't tell you to round it off to what? But looking at this number, is it closer to 1,800 or 1,800 or 1,900 or 2,000? Okay, so the 1,800 would be out. It would be between 1,900 and 2,000. Since, if we look at it now, is it closer to 19 or 2,000? And the answer would be C, it's closer to 2,000. So we could estimate this number to be 2,000, pretty much like rounding off the number, all right? So let's get to question 34. It says, make it smaller so we can see everything on the screen at the same time. All right, so how many groups of 6 shells can be made from the set of shells below? Okay, how many groups of 6? Again, if you know your multiplication, you could have gone ahead 5 across and 4 down. That's 20 shells. How many groups of 6 shells can be made? When we would have known the answer, but if not, as I'm saying, we know there are different ways to do this. Let's go ahead and do groups of 6. All right, so here's one group, counting out 6. All right, here's another group of 6. You could divide them your way. This is not necessarily the only way. And here's another group of 6. All right, and then we have 2 extra. So how many groups of 6 shells? We can get 3 groups of 6 shells, okay? That's the answer for 34. All right, so we're going to go over to the other side of the sheet for question 35. I'll make it a little bigger. And then I move it across so you can see. Well, if movements, but just have to do what we have to do. All right, so a group of boys shared $480 equally among themselves. Which number could not be the number of boys that shared the money? Okay, so we're going to be dividing this money equally among a group of boys. Okay, so they're asking which number could not be the number of boys. So could it be not 480 boys? Sorry, $480. Could it not be 3 boys, or could it not be 6 boys, or could it not be 9 boys? Okay, so which of these, when we divide that number into, we divide 480 by that number, it could not be equally divisible. Let's try. Let's try 3 first. 480 divided by 3. 3 into 3 goes 1. And then we're going to be dividing 3 into 4 goes 1. There's a remainder here. 3 into 18 goes 6. And then 0. So we could evenly divide this number by 3. Let's see if we can divide this number by 6. Okay. So we're going to be dividing this number by 6. All right, 6 into 4, we can't, so we're going 6 into 48. 6 into 48 goes 8 times, and then 0. So 480 could be divided by 6. Let's see if we could divide it by 9. All right, so 9. 4 into 48. Sorry, 9 into 48, because of course you could not divide 4 by 9, so we have to use the first two numbers. 9 into 48, 9, what's the closest to that number? Because that number is not divisible evenly by 9. 9 5s 45, 9 6 54. So you could get 5, 9 5s 45, and you're left with 3. And then 9 3s, that's 27. We're still with a remainder. So of course, 9 is a number that we could not use. So it could not have been 9 boys. It could have been 3 boys. It could have been 6 boys, but not 9. Okay. So again, guys, you would have your time to do these calculations, but just showing you the possibilities of what to do. You'd have to divide you'd have to divide 480 by each of these numbers to see which of them would not be evenly divided, and that would give you your response, your correct answer. All right, question 36. William has $17 left after he spent $38 on sweets. How much money did William have before he bought the sweets? So if he has $17 left after he spent 38, how much did he have before? We're just going to have to combine or add the 17 he has left and the 38 that he spent to see what was his total before spending or buying the sweet. So the 17 plus 38, 8 and 7, that's 15. 1 and 1, that's 2, plus 3, that's 5. So the answer is A, $55. So he had $55. He spent 38, and that left him with 17. Or if you're not sure, you could have also tried each number subtracting 38 from each of these numbers to see if it would give you a change of 17. So there are different ways to do these questions. All right, question 37. Which of the following is equal to 1 kilometer? All right, so is it that 10 meters is equal to 1 kilometer, 100 meters equal to 1 kilometer, or 1,000 meters equal to 1 kilometer? The answer is C, 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. All right, question 38. Which unit would be best to express the mass of a small bag of oranges? Would it be gram, liter, or meter? All right, so we have to know which each of these units measure. All right, so gram, that's what you use to measure, weight of things, oranges, rice, chicken. Liter would be for liquid, and then meter would be for length or distance. Okay, so which would be best to express the mass of a small bag of oranges? That would be grams. So the answer is A. Okay, question 39. Which statement is true? 10 centimeters is longer than 1 meter. 10 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. 10 centimeters is shorter than 1 meter. All right, so how many centimeters make 1 meter? The answer is 100. So 10 centimeters is shorter than 1 meter. So the answer is C. All right, let's get to question 40. Question 40. What is the length of the pencil? All right, is it 11 centimeters, 6 centimeters, or 5 centimeters? All right, so what is the length of the pencil? All right, so we have 5 here. It starts at 5, it ends at 11. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this pencil is actually 6 centimeters long, okay? So it did not start at 1 or 0, right? It started at 5, and so we have to count the number of centimeters from 5 to 11, and that's 6. All right, question 41. Which of the following represents 59 degrees Celsius? All right, so 59 degrees Celsius would be 59 would be A. That's the representation. That's how you write 59 degrees Celsius. All right. Question 42. Mary is 3 years old today. What is Mary's age expressed in months? Okay, so she's 3 years old. How do we represent 3 years in months? So 1 year equals 12 months. So for 3 years, we would multiply that by 12 for each of those. And so 3 2 6, 3 1 3, that would be 36 months. All right, let's get to question. Let's get to what's going on here. Question 43. Question 43. Which group of items shows a quarter of 1 dozen? Which group of items shows a quarter of 1 dozen? What is a quarter of 1 dozen? All right, so a quarter of 1 dozen would have been quarter of a dozen, which is 12, and a quarter of 1 dozen, if we should do our calculations, would be 3. So a quarter of a dozen is 3. So which of these group of items shows a quarter of a dozen? The answer is C, 3. All right, question 44. Which is the same as 30 minutes? Is it a quarter hour or 1/4? 1/4 of an hour? Is it half hour or 1 hour? So 1 hour is 60 minutes. So half hour would have been 60 minutes divided by 2. So 30 minutes is half hour. Okay, 30 minutes is half of an hour since 60 minutes is 1 hour. So the answer is B. I think I was trying to do it the other way. All right, question 45. What time is shown on the clock below? Okay, so the short hand is pointing to the 2, the long hand is on the 10. What time is shown on the clock below? It's actually 10 minutes to 2. Okay, 10 minutes to 2. Question 46. The calendar below shows the month of February in the year 2020. Use it to answer questions 46 to 48. Which day is the 10th day of February? All right, so which day is the 10th day? So February 10. Here it is. It's a Monday. All right, question 47. Which date is the 3rd Friday in February? Okay, so let's look to see what's the 3rd Friday in February. So this is the 1st Friday, the 7th. This is the 2nd Friday, and this is the 3rd. So the 21st would be the 3rd Friday in February. So February 21st. The answer is C, Now, question 48, on which day did January 2020 end? All right, so this is a February calendar, but usually on a calendar, you'll see some days from the previous month. So when you see these days, 26, 27, these days at the top, these are actually from January. Since we started on a Saturday, they just filled in the other days. So January ended on the 31st. That was the Friday. All right, let's get going. Question 49. Each square in the rectangle below has a length of 1 unit and an area of 1 square unit. Use this information and the rectangle to answer questions 49 and 50. All right, so for perimeter, we measure the distance around. That's the perimeter. So for the length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be 5 units. And the width would be 2 units. Okay. So here is also 5. And here is 2. So there are 2 ways to do perimeter. We can, for regular shapes, we can use a formula. The formula is perimeter equals length plus width times 2. Write that number better. So the perimeter would be equal to, P represents perimeter, 5. Why is this not writing correctly? Let's try again. Equals 5 plus 2 times 2. So the perimeter would be equal to 7, because 5 plus 2 is 7, times 2. Okay, the perimeter is equal to 14. Or we could have added all the sides. 5 plus 2, that's 7, plus 5, that's 12, plus 2 more, that's 14. So the perimeter is 14. All right, question 50 says, what is the area of the shaded part of the rectangle? The area of the shaded part, not the entire thing, just the shaded part. Okay, so what would be the length of the shaded part? It would be 1, 2, 3. So area is equal to length times width. So that would be equal to 3, that's the length, times 2, that's the width. That would be 6 square units. Okay, remember that when we do area, it's measured in square units. So the answer would be B. Remember, it's not the area of the entire rectangle, just the shaded part, which is 3 times 2. All right, 10 more questions to go. Question 51. It says, which of the following represents a line segment? Okay, so which of these represents a line segment? So of course you'd have to know, would have had to have knowledge of this beforehand. So A is the line segment. Okay, it's pretty much part of a line. It's joined by these 2 dots. We see these 2 dots, it just shows a segment means a part of a line, right? So B would be the entire line that's extended in both ways, has arrows on both sides. And but a line segment would be pretty much a point on the line. So if I should do this and B, then what I have taken out would be a line segment. Okay, so A is the line segment. All right, question 52. Which of the following angles is a right angle? All right, so even without thinking too much about it, the right angle is not curved like X and Z, it's usually square, okay? So it usually has straight lines. So just looking at this triangle without any other information, because of this square, I know that this is the right angle. It usually has a square, not curved like these other two angles. So the angle that is the right angle would be Y. Just look out for a square, and that gives you the right angle. That's the easiest way, quickest way to figure out what the right angle is. Okay? All right, so let's get to 53. Which pair of shapes is similar? And of course, this is a very, very easy question. All right, so this one has 1, 2, 5 different sides. This one has 3. This is an oval, and this one is a rectangle. All right, so the pair of shapes that's similar would be C. Those are both triangles, okay? Now let's get to question 54. All right, it says the shape below is not a polygon because it has, is it a curved path, angles, or line segments? So it's not a polygon because it has a curved path, okay? We need straight lines. Okay, so let's get to question S. Use the shape STUVW to answer question 55. And it says, which shape does TUVW make? Is it a triangle, a pentagon, or a quadrilateral? So TUVW, which is here, this part over here, and then this part, okay? Is this a triangle? How many sides does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 sides. It's not a pentagon. A pentagon has 5. It's a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral has 4 sides. So 55 would be C, a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides. Remember, it's not the entire shape, guys. Just the section that they identified, TUVW. Those points you would have to join to get your answer. Question 56. What is the value of n when n plus 3 equals 45? What number, when 3 is added to it, gives you 45? Of course, if you're not sure, you can go ahead and add every single one of them. Okay? That's fine. If not, you could simply subtract 43 from 40. Sorry, you could subtract 3 from 45. 5 minus 3, that's 2. And that gives you the number that 3 was added to. So the answer is B. So there's a bit noisy when I'm doing these videos, but I guess you should still be able to hear what I'm doing without much distraction. All right, question 56. What is the missing number in the pattern below? We have 19, then we have 23, then we have 27, blank, 35, and 39. So pretty much we're looking to see what the pattern is. What are they adding and subtracting from this number? If we look at the difference between 19 and 23, and then between 23 and 27, they are adding 4. So they added 4 to 19 to get 23. They added 4 to 23 to make it 27. So if we add 4 to 27, we get 31. And of course, if we add 4 to 31, we get 35. So that's the missing number in the pattern. Question 58. The bar graph below. Oh, let me do it a little bit smaller. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. So the bar graph, I have to make it a little bit smaller. The bar graph below shows the number of books in 4 students' bags. Use the information in the bar graph to answer questions 58 to 60. So we're going to be answering the questions that are left. So this would be the final question. These are the final questions for this paper. All right, so it says, which student had 2 books in his or her bag? So we're going to be looking at the bar graph to see the name of the student that matches the number 2. All right, and when we do that, we see that Pat, okay, go across, Pat has 2. So the student that had 2 books in his or her bag was Pat. Okay, that's the answer for 58. All right, so 59 says, how many books do the students have in their bags altogether? So we're going to be adding all the books. So for Kim, that's the first one. Kim was 10. Ron was 6. Pat, 2. And Sam, 4. Okay, so here's Kim. That's where I got the 10 from. Ron, 6. That's where I got it from. And Sam, 4. And of course, we already did Pat. Okay, so I'm going to be adding these numbers together. 6 plus 2 plus 4. That's 12. 1 plus 1, that's 2. So the answer is 22 books altogether. Let's see if we have that as an answer. The answer is C. And the final question, who had 3 times the number of books as Pat? Remember, Pat had 2. So who had 3 times the number of books? So 3 times 2, that's the number of books that Pat has, would be 6. So who has 6 books? The answer is B, Ron. Ron had 6 books. That number is 3 times 2. All right, so here we are at the end of this paper. And as I usually remind you guys, please subscribe to the channel and share with a friend. And I'll see you in the next video.